Amazon. Turns out with the right gear, Rufus rips. It's true. Contacts are great until they get dry. So we created BioTrue Hydration Boost for contacts for a boost of moisture that lasts up to 8 hours. So all kinds of contacts can stay comfortable throughout the day. And it's preservative-free. Stay BioTrue to your eyes.
This movie's for you.
Tomorrow on ET, our Hunger Games prequel exclusive ahead of the LA premiere. And here's the big news. We get to talk to stars. The strike's over. It'll be good. Anyway, before we go, Ted Lasso fans, you remember this? Well, from London to Kansas City. Hannah Waddingham joining Jason Sudeikis at his
happening now.
San Antonio ISD set to vote to close several of its campuses. Tonight at 5, we'll tell you which schools were saved from the chopping block.
A jury all afternoon deliberating in the capital murder case of Jacob Brownson. Brownson accused of the 2016 triple murder. Now what that jury decide, have they come up with the verdict? We'll let you know coming up.
Sunshine soon returns with rebounding temperatures. I'll talk about how warm it's going to get and even our next chance of rain around the corner in just a bit. The News at 5 starts right now.
First at 5, it is right-sizing decision day. The San Antonio ISD board set to vote tonight on closing several of its campuses. That meeting set to begin here shortly.
The 19's Patty Santos is live where that decision is coming down tonight with what's at stake and who's on the list to close. Patty?
Yeah, we expect that meeting to start here in about 30 minutes, and we can tell you there's a lot of people here, a lot of parents that are waiting to speak, so there'll be a lot of people talking before that meeting, that vote actually takes place. We know that the final list of schools that are expected to close has been updated since that first list was made available about a month ago. We now know that there's 4 campuses that are going to be spared. Those are Pershing, Collins Garden, Ogden, and Riverside Park elementary schools. Now, the list of closures includes elementary schools and early learning centers. The plan will also mean some shifts and changes for families in other schools as students are relocated. I've also heard some parents say here at this meeting that other parents in this district need to show up to these meetings to save these schools, or their school campuses could be next. The right sizing move, as the school district calls it, is an effort to save money as student enrollment drops and continues to drop throughout the years. We're going to stay here and bring you continuous coverage of this vote tonight. We'll send it back to you.
Definitely a lot riding on that decision tonight. Thank you, Patty. It has been 5 hours, but no decision yet on the fate of Jacob Brownson. He was standing accused of murdering 3 men back in 2016.
Our Eric Hernandez gives us a look at why Brownson's attorneys say there is not enough evidence to convict him.
There is no credible evidence here. There is no forensics here.
Over and over, defense attorney Joseph Esparza told jurors that the state did not prove without a reasonable doubt that Jacob Brownson was guilty of capital murder. Brownson in 2016 is accused of the murders of Pedro Garcia, Anthony Rodriguez, and Matthew Martinez. The men were found with multiple gunshot wounds in their north side apartment. In closing arguments this morning, not only did the defense say there was nobody to see the murders, but that the lead detective in the case made many mistakes.
We are here only because of a sloppy investigation by, back then, rookie detective.
The prosecution in this case told the jury they did prove Brownson pulled the trigger. They had a witness who saw a man leave through the patio door. The clothing they described was the same Brownson was wearing at a gas station down the street from the apartment minutes before. Also, Brownson's ex-wife, who was sitting outside as the murders were committed, testified he told her what he did and would kill her if she said anything.
It's time to end this, to close the chapter for the families that have had to suffer through this. Jacob Brownson is guilty of the cruel and horrible capital murder of these 3 young men.
Now, inside the 175th District Court, the families of the victims are anxiously waiting for that verdict. Now, if it is guilty, Brownson would automatically get sentenced to life without parole. At the Cadena Reefs Justice Center, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
New at 5, Governor Greg Abbott announcing a $15,000 reward for information regarding a deadly shooting in Pearland over the weekend. Last night, a gunman opened fire at the Kohl's flea market. Police say 5 people were shot, 3 adults and 2 children. One of those children died from their injuries. Authorities say the shooting sparked from an argument between 2 people at the market. They don't believe it was a targeted attack. If you know anything about the gunman involved in this shooting, you can call Texas Crime Stoppers 1-800-252-TIPS. That's 8477. Submit a web tip through the Texas 10 Most Wanted website, or you can submit a tip through the DPS mobile app.
A San Antonio teenager shot multiple times by an SAPD officer last year in a McDonald's parking lot, taken into custody over the weekend. Eric Cantu arrested on a felony warrant for evading arrest with a vehicle. According to Bexar County court records, the police arrested the 18-year-old after he was found sleeping in an apartment he was not supposed to be in. Officers took him into custody and gave him a criminal trespass warning, but officers say Cantu also had an active felony warrant for his arrest.
The San Antonio police searching for the person who hit and killed a man last month. 63-year-old Rogelio Mata Rodriguez hit and killed by a vehicle on Bandera Road near St. Cloud on October 6th. According to police, Rodriguez walking across the road when the driver of a tan 1998 GMC truck hit him. That driver did not stop. If you know anything about this incident, call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP.
Looking outside with your traffic authority cameras, traffic moving along just fine. This is at 281 and San Pedro. Doesn't appear to be any roadblocks in your way if you're headed this way.
Low clouds out there today, but not a whole lot of rain to really show for. We have a few sprinkles here and there, not much to speak of. Most of it not even really being detected by the radar. More showers farther to the west, closer to the Rio Grande. We'll take a look at those when we have more time in a few minutes. But I want to talk about some of our Weather Watchers rainfall totals recently. Del Rio, 1 inch. Panna Maria, 0.8 of an inch. Overall, we saw some good light soaking rain near Lavernia, 1.4. Seguin, 0.85 of an inch, and Bulverde about 0.5 inch from the recent rainfall. So not as much as we would like, of course, but still good, beneficial rain, and we'll take every drop of it. Some stray sprinkles this evening, but not much to show for it. Otherwise, cloudy, north wind 5 to 10, and temperatures in the 50s. We'll talk about when the sunshine returns and how much warmer it's going to get in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. It's one whammy after another for small businesses. The pandemic, the supply chain, inflation. It's too much for some to survive. From popular burger joints to mom and pop stores, we are seeing so many close up shop.
And it is sad. So 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz has listened to a couple of entrepreneurs to learn more about their struggles and why they say they need their neighbors to shop local.
At this little gelato shop in Helotes.
If you have good recipes, you'll have good gelatos.
The open sign is dimmed. So is business.
The truth is, we may not survive.
Isaac Butler opened Con Gelato 6 years ago. It survived COVID. Inflation is killing it.
The cost of production and stocking gelatos up by about 25 to 30%. That's coinciding with the time with our sales are down 25 to 30%. Here is the root beer float first.
Now he can only afford to open on weekends.
Being mom and pop, totally self-funded, no banks involved. And so it's really difficult for us to generate financial resources when in times of need.
His dream is now hanging by a thread.
So then I just moved.
30 miles away, Grome's sewing machine company also copes with soaring costs for machines, notions, quilting fabric. Cindy Grome says 1 yard of fabric is costing her $3 more. Another challenge, hiring.
We did a we're hiring ad, and people would come in, they'd fill out the application, and then they would never show up for the interview.
These are the same challenges so many small businesses are facing. So we wanted to know, what are the things small businesses should be doing right now?
It's not easy for a small business owner who's passionate about serving the community to increase their prices, but it's a necessity in order to survive.
Richard Cifuentes helps small businesses. His advice, establish a relationship with a bank. Be open to change and ask.
What is really important to the customer now? Has that Has their need changed? Has their want changed?
Grom agrees, saying the pandemic changed things.
Unless you're offering something that's really going to pique their interest, they're not going to go to class because they will go to YouTube to look at that. But I can tell you, YouTube is not always correct.
As for Butler, he's also making tweaks.
We will continue to be flexible and rework and retool, re-envision what we are as a business.
Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Now, one way entrepreneurs can get help is to contact the Small Business Development Center at UTSA. It offers one-on-one advising and frequent workshops, and best of all, it's free.
Shop local. Still ahead, the fair you can go to tomorrow to learn about diabetes and get yourself checked at the same time.
Want to see vibrant fall colors in Texas? All you got to do is drive about an hour and a half northwest of San Antonio to Lost Maples State Natural Area. According to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Fall Foliage Report, colors from the big tooth maple are finally starting to pop, and they expect a fall foliage peak through mid-November. Now, in order to access the park, you do need day passes. And while day passes during the weekend are completely booked, during the week you should be able to snag one, and you can do so on the Lost Maples State Natural Area website.
Our cost is $6 per person. Anybody 13 and older.
If you find yourself at the park and see some great colors, make sure to post them to KSAT Connect. We'd love to be able to share them on air and online. Happy fall foliage hunting.
I'm Myra Arthur, and here's what we're working on for the news at 6 o'clock today. 10 bikes stolen from San Antonio Park Police. What we know about what happened here and what you can do to keep your pedals out from underneath someone else's feet. Plus, finding 90 families' homes in 90 days. It is the goal of a team of local nonprofits and agencies. How they plan to do this. And things are going up down on the south side of San Antonio. School district scores, job opportunities, and the population all increasing. Max Massey shows us how it's changing. That and more today on the news at 6.
Much, Myra. The clock is ticking yet again. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill need to pass a bill to keep the federal government open.
Yeah, it'll run out of money at 12:01 on Saturday unless something is done. 12:01 a.m. ABC's Liz Landers has the latest from lawmakers in Washington.
There's another potential government shutdown looming in Washington, and new House Speaker Mike Johnson has just 5 days to strike a deal with the Senate and the White House, or there will be a shutdown. Johnson unveiled an unconventional two-step plan to fund the government. Under his proposal, 5 federal agencies, including Veterans Affairs, Housing, Energy, and more, would receive funding through January 19th. The Department of Defense and Homeland Security would get a longer runway with funding through February 2nd.
Trust us, we're working through the process in a way that I think the people will be proud of.
This slimmed-down bill leaves out aid for Israel and Ukraine and also doesn't include changes to immigration policy, a sticking point for some Republicans.
We can't sit back and do nothing. And talking to Prime Minister Netanyahu, they needed this yesterday, in his words. Ukraine needed it yesterday.
At least 5 Republicans have already said they won't vote for the proposal, meaning that Johnson will need House Democrats to back his measure for it to pass. While the proposed bill doesn't include all of their priorities, it is a, quote, clean continuing resolution that they should be able to support. The president, when asked by reporters if he would veto the current plan from Speaker Johnson, saying Monday,
I'm not going to make a judgment what I'd veto, what I'd sign. But let's wait and see what they come up with.
A shutdown could impact an estimated 3.5 million federal workers, 2 million of those in the military. The timing of this potential shutdown could affect Americans' leisure and safety ahead of this busy Thanksgiving holiday. Air traffic controllers and TSA agents could be working without pay, and federally run museums and parks could shut down during one of the busiest times of the year. In Washington, Liz Landers, ABC News.
November is National Diabetes Awareness Month, and a national nonprofit, Beyond Type 1, explains how many people in our country have diabetes.
Now, Beyond Type 1 was founded in 2015, and one of the founders, Nick Jonas of the Jonas Brothers. Jonas diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at the age of 13.
Best advice for someone that has been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, or any parents or any families, is to learn to read about it and to be patient.
You have an opportunity to get tested for diabetes if you're concerned you may have it. UT Health San Antonio hosting a World Diabetes Day Health Fair tomorrow, November 14th. It will go from 9 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon at the UT Health Gateway on Wurzbach Road. At the fair, you'll be able to speak with diabetes specialists and get your sugar levels checked.
Looking ahead to the holiday season, the San Antonio Zoo is going to be bringing back their zoo lights. It starts on Friday from November 18th to December 31st. The zoo is going to turn into a winter wonderland with miles of dazzling lights and music. You can read more about the zoo's holiday season plans by heading over to our website, KSAT.com.
Take a live look outside right now. 60s. Been kind of the highs we've been experiencing the last few days, but talk about some good rain.
Yeah, we had some good rain. I told you some of those Weather Watcher accumulations, generally under an inch, but there were some locations where we picked up over an inch, including near Livernia. Now, going forward, we're going to get into a sunny and dry stretch of weather on the way, and that's going to mean some warmer temperatures as well. Temperatures will be warming up as the sun comes back out in afternoons. We'll get back into the slightly above average category. Warmer, but a little above average. Next chance of rain comes on Sunday. I'll show you the shift in our weather pattern that's going to cause that. But first, a look at radar. Not a whole lot out there to speak of at the moment. Low clouds, looks like it could rain at any time. See just a few spritzes and sprinkles. Southern Bexar County into Atascosa County, and north and northwest side of town, especially the far northwest side of town, a few sprinkles. This is the kind of action that it's hard to pick out what setting to put your windshield wipers on. Meanwhile, along I-10 burning northward, some light rain that will cause wet roadways in and around I-10 in parts of Kendall County there. We go farther to the west, and the showers are a little more numerous and a little more persistent from Lake Amistad to Del Rio, moving into Brackettville in particular. This is where most of the action is, and we'll continue to see some of this coming and going this evening and through the night tonight. But we do clear out, I think, pretty quickly after sunrise tomorrow. Here's the big picture. We've got a low pressure system just offshore that's taking a lot of the moisture there offshore and into Louisiana as well. And then upper disturbance helping to cause the widespread rain from Del Rio up to San Angelo. Overall, a few days of good, healthy, beneficial, light soaking rain. And the aquifer has responded a little bit. It's up nearly half a foot today. Now that upper disturbance is moving out. It's going to be replaced by the upper level high, a ridge. It's not going to be centered overhead. It's actually going to be centered over Cabo San Lucas, but it's going to bump its way northward into our neck of the woods and give us that sunny stretch for pretty much the rest of the week and even to start the weekend. Then we get into Sunday and into Monday, and we get a new disturbance that drops in. This is likely to be a bigger system in terms of scale, but not necessarily impact for us Sunday, Monday, and into parts of next week. But it just turns us from this quiet, sunny weather pattern into one where we have more clouds and a shot at some showers, a few showers. Sunday, we're talking 20%. By Monday, so far, we've got that up to 30%. Of course, those numbers will be fine-tuned in the days ahead, and we'll keep you updated. Let's talk temperatures. Low clouds impacting us. 54 this morning, high temperature of 64. 10-degree jump. That's all we had today because of the clouds. And you look at the low clouds overhead with our visible satellite, all the gray coloring, where we've had some thinning. Temperatures have made it into the mid-60s. New Braunfels 65, Converse 64, but where the clouds have really been persistent west of I-35, that's where we're still in the upper 50s. Uvalde 58 right now, Carrizo Springs 59, and Rock Springs at only 50 even at the moment. Across the state, very similar readings in the 50s and 60s. Tomorrow, we start the day at 54. That's at 7 a.m. By noon, we break out into sunshine and we're at 65. So more of a temperature jump tomorrow with a high of 70. We'll hit that 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Vast sunshine, light northerly breeze, low humidity as well. We'll make it to 70 in Uvalde, 67 in Kerrville, 70 in Canyon Lake, and just right around 70, give or take a few degrees. Leon Springs tomorrow, the high temperature of 68. Mornings will be in the low to mid 50s the rest of this week, so pleasant, fall-like. And afternoons will be jumping into the mid 70s with that sunshine. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll take a look at the latest drought monitor and how much rain has fallen recently in those drought-stricken areas.
It's been thirsty. Wonderful to get it.
Yeah, it's been great. All right, now A&M makes a move.
Yeah.
Jimbo is out.
Yep.
Is Jeff Traylor in?
Not so fast on that, but he does know the rumors are out there, Coach Traylor, and he says it's happened to him every year since he's been here at UTSA except for his first season, and he also says that that's what happens when your team is successful. Plus, in high school football, our game of the week will feature Bernie and Lavernia in round 2 of the playoffs, and coming up, you're going to hear from the Greyhounds. As Coach Traylor and his UTSA Roadrunners are getting ready to host South Florida Friday night at the Alamo Dome, his name is coming up as a possible candidate to take over as head football coach at Texas A&M. Now, if you haven't heard, the Aggies fired Jimbo Fisher yesterday after nearly 6 full seasons as the Aggies field boss. Today, after practice, Traylor was asked about those rumors, and he says it's just part of the deal.
Me coaching in the state of Texas my entire life, and the success we've had at Gilmer and here at UTSA, it's natural. It means you've been winning a lot of ball games. It means I've had a group of seniors, 21 of them. They're going to play their last home game this Friday night, so they've had 4 years of success. And so that speculation is going to always come up when you've had great players like I've had and been blessed to coach them.
Per Sports Betting AG, Traylor has 10-1 odds to take over the Aggies. Lane Kiffin is number 1 with 5-1 odds, followed by Dan Lanning at 6-1. The Bernie Greyhounds football team started practice this morning before the sun was up, but they don't mind because they're now getting ready to face the Lavernia Bears in the second round of the high school playoffs, which is also the game of the week right here on KSAT 12. Bernie is 10-1 this season, and they opened the postseason by beating Taylor in the by-district round 42-28. Last season, the Greyhounds advanced to the state final, falling to China Spring 24-21. Now they'll face their former district foe in Lavernia as the Greyhounds look to get back to the 4A D1 state final.
It's pretty special. We used to play Lavernia in our district a couple years ago, but we haven't really had the chance. It used to be pretty heated. It was always a good game, so we're pretty excited, and there's a little bit of not animosity, but just rivalry there, so we really want to win.
Lavernia is a good team, play hard. We've played them in the past, always been a tough challenge, but
I think it's pretty special after all the hard work we put in over the off season, through summer workouts, and just like the whole season has all led up to like this point, and we want to keep it pushing and just keep going strong and work as a team and play together.
Bernie versus Lavernia is our game of the week, Friday night at 7 from Comalander Stadium. And you can also watch that game live right here on KSAT 12. We will hear from the Lavernia Bears tomorrow.
These are huge games.
They are indeed. Second round, let's go.
Right. Thanks, Larry.
We'll be right back.
Turning sunny tomorrow and the rest of the week, we'll have a lot of sunshine. Temperatures will be a little bit warmer in the afternoons. Mornings, low to mid 50s, which isn't far from average. The average low is 51. And afternoons will be making it into the mid 70s. So a nice, beautiful stretch.
Really nice weather. Thank you, Adam. And thank you for watching the News at 5.
World News up next. We'll see you back here at 6.